All right, let's talk about something important. If you're over 45 and you've got that little voice in your head saying your chance to be an entrepreneur has passed, well, I've got some pretty great news for you. Right now might just be the single best time in history for you to start a business. And the reason for that, honestly, it comes down to two little letters, AI. Let's break down why.
I mean, does that sound familiar? You see all the headlines about these 20-something founders, and you start to wonder, man, did I miss my shot? It's a super common feeling, but I'm telling you, the actual data tells a completely different story. And look, that feeling, it's not just in your head. Our culture is, frankly, obsessed with the idea of the young genius, especially in the tech world. But here's the secret nobody really talks about. That image of the kid in a hoodie changing the world from a garage, that is the exception. It is absolutely not the rule.
Exactly. So let's just tackle this age myth head-on, because the numbers, the real facts, paint a very, very different picture.
Here's what gets lost in all the noise. The most successful, the most durable businesses, they usually aren't started by 22-year-olds. Nope, they're started by people with decades of real-world experience who know their industry inside and out. The actual average age of a founder who succeeds, it's probably way higher than you think.
45. Yep, not 25. A huge study from MIT and the US Census Bureau found the average age of a successful founder is 45. And why is that? Well, it's because the things that actually make a business work, we're talking good judgment, resilience, knowing how to solve real problems. You can't learn that stuff in a classroom. It has to be earned over time.
And that brings us to this really critical shift in thinking. For years, you might have looked at your age as a disadvantage. It's not. In this new world we're in, your experience is your single greatest asset. It really is your superpower.
So let's dig into why that experience is so potent. It's not just one thing, it's a whole mix of advantages. It's truly understanding customers, not just chasing trends. It's knowing the fundamentals of business because you've actually lived them. It's having credibility that only comes from years in the trenches. And maybe most importantly, it's the patience to build something that lasts. Delayed gratification, something a lot of younger founders really struggle with.
Okay, so you've got the experience, but the big roadblock has always been the technical side of things, right? The I'm not a coder problem. Well, this is where the entire game changes. Let's talk about the great equalizer. Artificial intelligence.
Just look at this comparison for a second. Seriously, 5 or 10 years ago, that column on the left would have cost you tens of thousands of dollars to hire. A web developer, a designer, a copywriter, it was a massive barrier. Now, look at the right. Today, that entire column is basically handled by AI tools, often for just a small monthly subscription. It's like having a whole creative agency right there on your laptop. It's incredible.
But it's not just about saving money, as huge as that is. It's about saving your most valuable resource, your time and your mental energy. All that tedious grunt work that just burns entrepreneurs out, the endless emails, the scheduling, the data entry. AI can handle a lot of that now in minutes. And that frees you up to focus on the things that actually move the needle, the strategy, the relationships, and that big picture vision that only your experience can provide.
So, when AI takes care of all that technical and administrative stuff, what's left? Well, what's left is you, and that is your competitive edge. That's the part that cannot be automated away.
This is such a crucial point. AI is a powerful tool, no doubt, but it doesn't have your wisdom. It can write code, sure, but it doesn't have your 20 years of industry knowledge. It can spit out a generic marketing plan, but it can't leverage the professional network you've spent a lifetime building. This is what makes you irreplaceable. This is your unfair advantage.
Okay, but how does this all play out in the real world? Let's look at a quick example that proves this isn't just some nice theory.
So, meet Patricia. She's 58, and after a 35-year career as an executive assistant, she was worried her skills were becoming outdated. But then she realized her deep knowledge of organization and management was incredibly valuable. So she used AI tools to help outline the course content, design the materials, and even build the marketing pages. She launched it online, and today, that's a $4,000 a month side business for her. That is the power of experience, amplified by AI.
But this brings up the big, looming fear in the back of everyone's mind, doesn't it? What happens when AI gets so good that it makes my expertise obsolete? And you know what? That is a completely valid question. The answer, though, just requires a little shift in perspective.
Here's the key. You have to see AI not as a replacement,
but as an amplifier. Think about it. A great financial advisor doesn't get replaced by an AI. They use AI to do complex data analysis in seconds so they can spend more time on strategic advice with their clients. A skilled writer uses AI to bust through writer's block, freeing them up to focus on the nuance and emotion only a human can create. Your expertise guides the tool, making you more valuable, not less.
So let's bring it all home. You are not too old. You are not behind. You are, in fact, perfectly positioned. You have the wisdom that can't be faked, can't be coded, and for the first time in history, AI has given you the tools to build pretty much anything you want with that wisdom. The only question left is the one right here on the screen. What will you build?